What's up, everybody? Today we are going to talk about how you can take any video tutorials specifically for like software products, like web apps, mobile apps, stuff like that, and you can take those videos and then you can grab an article or automatically turn that video into an article that you can post on a website, on a blog, on a wiki, or some documentation page for your product, something like that. So basically the input of this whole automation. We're going to use make.com for this. You could use Zapier. You could program this pretty easily as well if you know how to do that. I'm just going to do the no code way today just because I think that'll be more accessible for people. So the inputs of this are just going to be an MP4 file or a video file, and then the outputs of this are going to be just a markdown document or a text file depending on what you want to do. I'm going to do a markdown document, and there's just a lot of ways you could go about doing this. I'm just going to show one way. Like even after just making this pipeline, I'm like, there are so many ways that you could do this, but I just want to get a good base from start to finish. The first thing that we need to do is we need some sort of trigger, right? So we're going to trigger just when a file is uploaded to Google Drive. So whenever you drop a video into a folder in Google Drive, this whole process right here is going to kick off. Then we're going to download the video in the second step. Then we're going to convert the video to MP3, so you have the audio file of that video. Then you're going to transcribe that audio using OpenAI Whisper, so that turns the audio file into a transcription of the audio. Then you're just gonna use a little bit of prompt engineering and turn that transcription into an article, then upload that article back into a Google Drive folder. So let's get started. I built this out already, but I do just want to start from scratch just so we're all on the same page. So for make.com, we're gonna make a new scenario in your account. The first thing we're going to add is a Google Drive, and we are going to, and then you can just search Google Drive if it doesn't show up for you automatically. You're going to watch files in a folder. So when a file is created or modified in a selected folder, it's going to do that. It's going to kick off. We're going to talk in another video about how to set up a connection to Google Drive. I'm going to assume right now that you do have a connection, just because that's kind of a unrelated or tangentially related topic. So you're going to pick the connection that you want. Watch files. I am just going to watch by created time. And then I'm going to choose my drive. So you have two folders. I am in my drive in tutorials, so that's where I'm actually going to, watch for the video files to be uploaded. And all types to watch. Yeah, that's probably fine for now. And then just because you can watch a specific file type, but I think it's easier to just have a folder that you're just going to drop videos into than trying to put all the logic together of, is this a text file? Is this a sheet? Is this a doc? Just organize it according to the fact that the only thing you're going to drop in that tutorials folder is a finalized M4V, MOV, or MP4 file, like a video file. So set that up. When to start? I would choose from now on. I'd just keep it at from now on, and that's probably fine, unless you want to look into the past or something, but from now on is usually a good place. The second thing we need to add is a download file. Download a file. Now, what file are we going to download? We're going to download the file that's being watched in the previous step, right? So watch files in a folder, we're going to grab the ID from that step, and if I do that, so we're basically saying, watch a file, but when you grab this file, when you watch a file, you're not necessarily getting the files, like the actual content of the file. You're getting a lot of metadata. You're getting who owns the file, you're getting its ID, its name, the extension or something like that. You're getting all that data about it. You're not getting the file itself. So you have to have a download file step. And that's like the easiest step to set up, right? That's just literally one thing. File ID is just entered from the previous step. The next thing we want to do, so now we have an MP4 file that is downloaded. So we want to do a conversion step. We want to convert from MP4 to MP3. Cloud Convert is just what I'm going to use. You can use any conversion. Convert a file. And I'm going to use an API key. You can really do whatever here, but there's two ways to really add a connection. You can either do an OAuth connection or an API key. The OAuth connection is going to ask you to sign into like your Google account or something, and that's going to be the thing that's going to let you register with Cloud Convert. So I like to use the API keys because API keys are like I don't have to refresh them nearly as much. So like when you connect to like Google or something, a lot of times it'll make you add or refresh the connection to the authentication because OAuth only lasts, a certain amount of time. So I like to use the API key. If you go to cloudconvert.com, you can log into your account. You can go to the dashboard actually. And then if you go down to do the API keys, you scroll down on the dashboard to authorization, API keys, and you will create a new API key. And I just give it all the permissions for this. You can really, if you really want to, you can look into, like my key. You can really I just added all of those and it was fine. If you really want to see the minimum necessary permissions, just look into that a little bit more. But I'm not really worried about it because if somebody takes my key to Cloud Convert, they're just gonna, what are they gonna be able to do? Steal a few credits of conversion, and then I can just rotate the key. That's also why I like to use API keys. Just makes it easy to rotate them, and I can like keep it secure. If somebody leaks, then I just make a new key. So I would make the key, create it, copy it here, and then I would paste that into my new connection type here. But I'm not going to do that. You just paste it here and hit save. I'm not going to do that because I already have one set up, and it's actually on a different account. So I'm just going to like delete that. Don't delete your key, obviously, but I'm just doing that for the fact that now you guys can't use that key. So from here, we're going to upload a file. What file are we going to use? The only file that we have in this, which is the Google Drive. Download a file. Make sure that's selected. The format. Let's just say I don't know the input format. The nice thing about Cloud Convert, I will say, is that it'll take MP4, M4V, or MOV, or I don't know, like most of the video file types, and it will know how to like do the conversion to, we're going to do MP3, which is the output. For the file name of this Cloud Convert, the name doesn't really matter. Like I'm just going to use the name from the previous step. We have just the how to create a recipe.mp4. It's weird because it'll be .mp4, .mp3, but that's not going to matter because we're never going to use the name of this Cloud Convert file. But do make sure that at the end, whatever you name this file, you put .mp3 at the end. The output file here needs to match the suffix, the file extension on the file name here. It says choose a file name including the extension for the file output. So just make sure that those two things match up in the output format and in the file name. Do we want to download a file? We do want to download a file because we're going to pass that file into the next step. So we're going to say yes. So the next step in the process is to add the transcription. So now we have the MP3 file. We are going to now add the transcription of the MP3 file that we are downloading. We're going to do that by adding a new module. And we're going to use OpenAI Whisper to create a transcription. Very simple. And this is actually really easy. So you take the file, which is from Cloud Convert, because that's the MP3, and then we're not even going to give it a prompt because it doesn't need a prompt. We are going to change the response format to text because we just want the raw text. We don't want any JSON or anything like that. We should just get a transcription text. So we will just do OK. Let's add a new connection here. Let's add a new OpenAI connection. So I'm going to create a new key first in OpenAI. Okay, so we're here on OpenAI. We're not on the dashboard. Click on dashboard on the top right. Then on the left-hand bar, you're going to go to the API keys. So first, click on Make New Secret Key or Create New Secret Key. I'm going to call it Make.com key. I'll give it all permissions. That's fine. And then I'm just going to hit Create New Secret Key. I'm going to copy the secret key here. And then we're going to go back into Make. We're going to have a new connection. I'm just going to call the connection Make.com API key connection. And I'm going to paste the key in there. And then you do not need an organization ID. So we're just going to click Save on that. And then move this up here, my screen. Hit OK. Seems to be value can't be empty. Okay, good. Now we're just going to add a new module. Let's actually test it here quick. Let's just test it out, see if it's working. So I have a file that I dropped into tutorials, right, which is this video. So drop your video file into this folder, and then once you see upload complete down here, go ahead and run once like I just did. Now we're transcribing. Cool, let's see what it transcribed. So we've got the file data, output, that's the important part, text. Great, this is my transcription, exactly as I need it. Okay, now we're gonna add another module. The next module we need to add, because the transcription looks good here, is another OpenAI module, but we're gonna do ChatGPT. All right, that is gonna be just an OpenAI module. We're gonna do create a completion, prompt ChatGPT, and then we're going to select the model. Yep, we're just going to do GPT models, create a chat completion. We're going to do 4.0. It's just my favorite model. We're going to have two messages, both of which will have the user role. The user role is like if you're having a conversation with ChatGPT, the user is you, and then the assistant is like the response, the GPT agent response. So I'm going to have the prompt here and then my example here. So we're going to just do like a one-shot learning example where we have a prompt and then an example. So this is the prompt. We're basically saying that, you know, I have a transcription of a video tutorial that explains the use, you know, how to use a specific feature of an app. Basically what you just want it to do is you want to say, you know, you want to turn this into a help article in a markdown document format. You need to specify like the structure and, you know, include that you want the headings and the subheadings, etc. And then you also want to say, talk about be clear and concise, right? Those are the two things that actually matter with a help tutorial. Like there's nothing fancy. You don't want any fluff, just very short and to the point. And then I also added that you want to have a call to action at the end to either reach out to support at our support email if you need it, or go to our App Store page, add a call to action. You can see it here. That goes to our App Store page. I think that's pretty much it. I also talk about using the key vocabulary terms. So in your prompt, you want to include something about making sure that you keep the vocabulary very similar in the article to the video, because there are specific feature names that are important. Like in this app, we have something called a convenience menu, and it's a menu that you can do a lot of actions in the application through. And it has that formal name, the convenience menu. And so we want that kind of information to be kept the same. So we have the prompt there, and then the example, I'm just going to go and grab the example here as well. So here is a transcription. Please summarize please send me the article. Okay. Here's the transcription. What we're going to get is just the text, the transcription from the previous step. And that's going to work. Okay. And then the max tokens, we're going to say 0 because I don't really care. 0 means, you know, the max that the model can handle, which I think is like 4,000 or something like that. 4096 maybe. But just 0 is fine. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to have another Google Drive module that's going to upload a file. I know it's weird. You could do a text file. You could have the create a file from text, but I want to use the upload file because I want markdown a .md file, not a .txt. If you want a .txt, you can go ahead and use the other one, but here we're just going to select from the list my drive. So put it in a different folder from the tutorials folder, okay? The reason is you don't want that to trigger another run of the scenario when you upload a file back to tutorials, and then that triggers the start of this, but it triggers it with a markdown file, which will cause it to fail because it's not a video. So you just put it in a different folder. And the file we are going to use is a map. So it's not either of the ones. We're not putting the MP4 back. We're not uploading an MP3. We are going to call this, we're going to call it the same thing, just .md file, right? So if my tutorial was called how to create a recipe or how to do this, it's also going to be how to do this .md. That's really all I'm going to do. And there's a little trick with the replace and some regex that we can use, and I'll explain that in a sec. I just don't want to, I just want to make sure that I get it right and I don't like miss a character and have something be off when I try and test this again. So what you're replacing is the name, right? You're replacing the name from we're going to replace the name from the text file, so I'll even just insert it there again. We'll go back to the original file name, which is it could either be from either step, but I'm going to be, so this is how to create a recipe.mp4, so I'm going to put the name in there. So what this is going to do is it's going to look in brackets, so you have the // syntax here, so you have this this little slash right there to kind of indicate we're starting a regex expression, then we end it with a slash and then a G because we're using regex or regex. And then we're looking for .mp4, the pipe character means or, .m4v or .mov. So we're going to replace all of those with the empty string. And you can find the empty string by up here when you are looking for, you're going to go to the text functions and you're going to click on the empty string down there, and that should work for you. Okay, so the data we're going to put in now. We are going to use, we're not going to use data. We're going to look at the text from, we're going to look at the output from actually the, if I can move this thing for a bit. We're going to use the output from this step in here, right? We're going to get that article that is text. Oh, it just went, so we're going to map it. Don't know why that didn't save. That's a bummer. Just going to put that back in there. So instead of the data, we're going to do the text here, which is going to be the result, just the results from the, which is the output of the model. So there's that. The folder ID, we're going to do this. We're going to select from the list. I'm putting it, like I said, in the articles. Sorry for redoing this stuff, but here's how we go from here. Just click OK. Okay, let's run it. Let's test it out. Making sure it's going to go into this folder here. It's going to go into the articles folder, which is empty currently. So let's run this integration here. Okay, so we're running the integration now. Oh, it's not going to, looks like it's not going to go past the first step. Reason is because you might get this too when you test it. Sometimes it'll only do a certain number of, like if this is the same file and it's already been through the make.com integration, we're just going to have to like re-upload it because it has already like done something with this file. So we are going to just drag that in again here. Let me get that from Finder. Okay, so it's uploading. Okay, looks like upload's complete. And that is in the yep, it's in the correct place. So we're going to run this again. So it said it finished. Let's go look at it. Let's go back to the articles folder here, which is, yes, correct one. Oh, great. We got how to create a recipe.md. Great. This is what we wanted. And here you have it. So what I like, creating a recipe that allows you to keep a personalized list. Yep, little intro. I like that. Click on the three dots located on the bottom of the tab bar. See how there's the convenience menu here? I told it to keep that you know, I told it to highlight key terms, and then I told it to like keep them as they are and not to edit them in any way. So kept the convenience menu in there. That's great. The one thing I don't like is I think it's going to fabricate. Yeah, it's going to fabricate like an image, which you can just, I think I actually had something about an image in my prompt, but you can just tweak the prompt so that, you know, you might say like there are no images. I don't want anything like that. There's just text. You can tweak it like that and you'll end up with like a pretty decent article, right? Add ingredients, add instructions, save the recipe, conclusion. And creating a recipe in the app is a straightforward process. You know, this is a little bit, you know, ChatGPT-esque, but again, prompt engineer. If you have an example of a legit transcription and article that you've written already, you can pass that in. What I really do like here is if you have any further assistance or if you need assistance, you know, visit our support page. If you enjoy using the app, consider leaving a review on our App Store page. That's great. That's exactly what I wanted in there. So this is like the final output. Then if you wanted to continue to go and do something with this, like post it somewhere or put it on a website, or maybe you have a Webflow CMS that it's going to hook into, or you have some other CMS that it's gonna go into. You can have it, instead of uploading it to here, you can upload it directly to there. Either way, just wanted to make sure that you guys knew how to have a trigger when something happens, when a video is created somewhere. Download the video, convert it to MP3, transcribe it, get an article, and do something with the article. That's the key process here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm actually using this. I'm actually using this to make articles. I'll scan through them once or twice to just, I'll take like 60 seconds to just kind of scan through it, because usually my articles are only a few minutes long. But before I go quickly, I do want to say there's a few other ways you could do this. You don't need to use Cloud Convert if you're okay sending a video directly to OpenAI Whisper. Whisper does accept MP4 files and I think maybe one other or two other video type files. The problem is that it has to be under 25 megabytes. And if you have a long tutorial, that's just probably, you're going to have a file that's larger than that. So I just chose to convert it to an MP3 beforehand, so we don't run into that issue. Another thing you could do is Cloud Convert can actually hook into Google Drive. There's like an integration directly there. So you could set that up in Google Drive, but I just wanted to keep it all on make.com. The last thing that you could do is, if this folder was public with the tutorials and the articles in it, you could actually just set up this Cloud Convert to pull from a URL, and then you could have a URL from the Google Drive folder. So you don't have to download a file. You just send the URL from this step directly to Cloud Convert, and Cloud Convert can just grab the file on itself, and then you don't incur any download space, bandwidth, or whatever on your make.com account, so your usage is going to be lower here. Just a little way to make it a bit better. So that pretty much concludes this. If you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to see anything like this, if you have any specific questions about something you want to see next, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys want to see, and I'll do a build out on it, and hopefully help you guys out. So thank you very much.